happy Monday. Hey, just a quick reminder to everybody, it's not Monday, although my brain seems to think it is. Happy Wednesday. How are you? I hope you're having an incredible, safe day. I hope it's hump day, isn't it? It doesn't really feel like the days have become like there's no hump day anymore. Like we're not in the middle of the week because all of the weeks just bleed together. You know what I mean? It's nice to see you. Hi, we have an incredible show for you today with some incredible guests. I will get into that. If you don't know me, by the way, hi, I'm LuxieGames. I'm going to be your host today. And yeah, we'll hop right into it. We'd like to start out May's show with some special announcements about the BroadcastHER grant. Given the effects of COVID-19, 1,000 Stream Fund is reopening our spring BroadcastHER grant until June 19th. So don't miss your chance at up to $2,000 for your broadcasting dreams. Please apply. Y'all, you're not missing out on anything if you don't apply. There's a chance that you get $2,000. And if you don't get it, then you can apply again later on, I'm pretty sure. So you might as well do it. Today we're going to be talking to MyLawyerFriend, an attorney for video games, DMCA, the whole 9 yards, all that stuff that you're like, I wonder how that works. I don't know if that's just me, but I'm like, I wonder how that works. So I'm insanely excited to talk to him today. And also Libby, the 2020 BroadcastHER Academy recipient. So we'll be talking about DMCA, protecting yourself legally in broadcasting and gaming, and info on the 2020 BroadcastHER Academy from an actual recipient, not from me. And for everybody watching, we're going to be talking with Noah about keeping you safe and protected legally in streaming, which, I mean, at the end of the day, none of us want to go to jail. None of us want to get sued. You don't want to get sued. I don't want to get sued. And you can actually start asking Noah questions now. So if there's any specific questions that you would like to, there are no more days, Kayla, I just saw that. If you'd like to ask Noah any specific questions, just put them in chat. Kayla will collect them and send them over to me. Gaming lawyer sounds like a hack. Are you hacking? Have you hacked the laws? Oh my gosh. I'll have to ask you that personally. But if you submit those now, Kayla will gather them up and then I will be able to ask him myself. All right, so just give me a second and I'll pull him in for us. I hope you're having a swell day. I feel like I didn't say that. I just jumped into all the days bleeding in together, which is true. Can't say it's not true. All right. Hello?
Hello.
We did it!
Yeah, we did it. We did it. So, I'm in chat too. So,
Perfect.
Hi,
hello! How are you doing? How are you holding up?
I need to make sure that I'm not looking at myself on the screen. So I'm going to move the board over here. Okay. That was throwing me off for a second because your face was not saying anything.
I know, my face isn't there.
So, hey, after our mic check and our video test earlier, I feel good. I feel great. I know I need to cut my hair a bit, but
we're all here. We're all here with long hair. It's just the long hair season. Everybody's gonna come out and be like, "Oh, we all have long hair now. What happened?" I can't remember.
My wife wants to shave it, but I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can bring these long, beautiful locks.
No, I mean, how could you? You just gotta, you could keep them in a little bag. I cut my bangs on stream once, unrelated, but I still have the hair that I cut off on my desk, and I feel a little, I don't know what to do with it. Like, I feel like I should throw it away, but now I'm kind of attached to it. Anyways, thank you for coming, Noah. It's a pleasure to have you. No, please don't.
Be here.
All right. Could you start off by telling us a little bit more about yourself and what you're currently doing in video games and entertainment?
Yeah. So I'm a lawyer, but I'm a cool lawyer. So what that means is that I work in the entertainment field, primarily in video game law. And so I work at the law firm of Morrison Rothman, LLP. They're an incredible firm founded by Ryan Morrison and Ali Rothman. Got amazing colleagues there. And now that I know that they're not in chat, it's great. So, and so I've been working in this field for years now. And because I was an actor before I was a lawyer. And so as a full-time actor, I wanted to stay near entertainment law and focusing on what I could do to help actors, help rights of broadcasters, etc. And so I was always a gamer as a kid, and I kind of stuck to it. And this is where we are because there aren't that many attorneys that really do the full spectrum of video game law, from helping broadcasters, representing developers, representing agencies and management companies, etc. So I'm really lucky to be where I am.
You got a good niche, a fun
Yeah,
niche too.
that's what my mama said.
Yeah. So that's what my mama said. She's like in chat. She's like, I did say that. That's
No,
confirmed.
no joke. My mom sometimes does hang out in chat, and so does my dad.
Hi,
Um,
Noah's mom and dad. Nice to
so
meet you.
if you see a user called Fried Mice, FRYDMICE, don't think about the name, but say hello.
Oh, see, my dad also has an incredible username that I will not state right now because every time I say it, people are like, "Are you sure that's your dad?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, it is." So what inspired you to get involved in gaming? Have you always been a gamer? I know you answered that a little bit.
Yeah.
What paths led you from acting into gaming law, would you say?
Well, so whenever as an actor, you always have a lot of downtime and you play. And I've always been a gamer since I was a kid. Playing on God every console that I could get my hands on. And so a lot of what I always wanted to do involved around. I always felt like I had control over my characters in games, and I could really act it out. Whereas when I'm working on a script, it's kind of I flesh out the character, but it's already there. So when it comes to games and massive games where you have so much ability to customize and do what you want, that always was a fun exercise for me. I also really really got super competitive with Halo. Not gonna lie, because I was one of those kids in high school, and I competed a little bit in Halo, and then I just kind of stuck with it because gaming's cool.
It is cool. It is cool. I'll back you up there. I agree.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
been really fun because as I grew into the space and I work with more and more people, I actually started to work with some people that I kind of idolized 10 years ago when they were creating like Halo montages on YouTube.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's like I posted about it a long time ago, but like it's like a weird thing to go from idolizing people to having them be your colleagues. It's
Right?
so
I,
strange.
I
It's
got
been
to
the
work with a
weirdest thing.
Power Ranger the other day.
What?
Yeah.
What color was
It's
the Power
insane.
Ranger? Can you not say? Will it give it away?
I
Don't tell
can't. I'll
us.
tell you offline. I can't tell
Okay,
you offline.
perfect,
I'll tell
perfect.
you.
Wow, very impressive. So how did you start your journey as an attorney in this space?
Yeah. So I started. Full story. Like I was graduating from undergrad with a degree in theater and a degree in political science. And I said, "Huh, what am I gonna do with my life? I'm 21." So I was like, "I'll apply to law school. Let's see what happens." And then so I applied to law school,
Just
and
for fun.
I
Just
got in.
apply.
Yeah, just like, "Oh, let's apply." I got in, and it was amazing. So I went to University of Richmond Law School. That's one of these pieces of paper behind me, because I gotta look official.
Right.
And I went to University of Richmond Law School, which is one of the only law schools in the nation that has an intellectual property certificate. So most attorneys can't say I'm an expert in something, or I have expertise in this,
Mm-hmm.
unless you legitimately have a paper to back it up, because we're strictly regulated. And University of Richmond has the intellectual property IP law certificate. So I said, I'm in Richmond. Let's do it. And so I went and I also studied criminal law, like side by side with it. So I was like doing business and intellectual property and then criminal law. And then it was like a fight for my soul. And when I got out, I defended one really bad person. And I said, nope, video games.
Yeah. You like laid in bed at night and you're like, why didn't I pick the Final Fantasy law? Why didn't
Yeah,
I do it?
like no joke. And like I'm sitting here like I just want to play Halo right now.
I
But
just want
that
to
guy
talk about
shot
boss
somebody.
battles, not mob bosses. What was I thinking?
I prefer it when my clients shoot people in games and not in real life, so
Oh,
I went with video game law, not criminal defense.
wow. You should write a book and that should be like the like
The
just
the
quick
tagline.
summary. Yeah, yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
great.
So were there any stepping stones in your journey to get you where you are today besides your final boss battle there?
Yeah, right. No joke. Well, my mom showed me this letter I wrote to myself when I was 9, like a couple of months ago, before all this craziness happened. And it said, "I'm gonna be a lawyer someday," and I have no recollection of this.
What?
But I was right. The stepping stones, I'd say, was I went to law school.
Yeah, you just
But
took
one of
that
the
chance and applied.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I would not be where I am today, I would not be here talking to you if it wasn't for the incredible people that I've had the pleasure of working with.
Hmm.
I am a sum of all the parts. I'm a sum of all the experiences that made me. And I'll tell you, one of my best friends in the world is a streamer by the name of McLaffy Taffy. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's
I
incredible. He's a
Yes.
partner. So Taffy and I have known each other since I was 14 as a young actor, and he was 23 as a young actor who just graduated from undergrad. And we've been Facebook friends, etc. And then in like 2016, 2017, he posted on Facebook saying, "I need a new business lawyer for my stream and for this new venture I have." And I was like, I can do that. And so I responded, and he hired me, and he took me to PAX East, and I was like, oh my God, it's a whole new world. So I would not be where I am if it wasn't for McLaffy Taffy and Nate, Knott, and the boys and all the friends over at Pretzel.
Oh my
Pretzel was
gosh.
the service that we ended up making from that.
That's so nice. I love that. I feel like a lot of this industry, it's not, people say like really condescending, they're like, ooh, it's who you know, but like in a friendly way. It's literally
Yeah,
like who you get to have the joy of being introduced to and
you
grow
get
with.
super lucky.
Yeah. So what exactly is a video game IP and entertainment law attorney, and what should folks care about? Why should they care about the legalities of your
So
specialty?
why should people care about the law? Well, you shouldn't. No, that's not legal advice. And this is the point where I need to stop and do a quick disclaimer that I'm a lawyer, but I'm not yet necessarily anyone in here's lawyer. I Everything I'm giving today is for informational purposes only, and it does not create an attorney-client relationship unless I'm already your lawyer. And so if you actually need specific advice on a specific situation, reach out to me via email or something, and I'd be happy to talk to you. So now that I've made sure that I'm not going to lose my license. So what does a video game attorney do? What does an entertainment law attorney do? Well, we represent broadcasters. We represent developers. We represent musicians that are trying to get into the space. Basically, we help people protect their businesses. We help people comply with the law. We help startups, everything. So on a typical day, I'll talk to about 4 people that are in the process of starting up their streaming business. I'll talk to a few people who already have a business and they're looking to expand it. I'll file trademarks, create copyright filings, draft terms of service and privacy policies, review contracts, everything. What does an attorney do? Basically, anything that's legal or illegal related to your business, I can help you with. Hopefully, none of it's illegal, but we help you take care of that ahead of time. And so, obviously, in the gaming space, there's a lot of concerns about what you can stream, what's legal to stream, how people can use your likeness if you're a broadcaster,
Hmm.
working with contractors to secure your rights in your emotes that you're working with, um, your overlays, all that stuff. And so we help everybody from the whole 9 yards. So
All those things that you like over time as a streamer, you're like, I should really start thinking about these things.
yeah.
Oh man, wait, what? I gotta file for a trademark.
Wait, what's a trademark? Well, there's a difference between trademark and copyright. Trademark's the source of goods. Copyright's a creative expression. Anyways, so
Just hold on, I'm just gonna get my pen and paper for no reason in particular. So what's your specific role with Pretzel Rocks? What does a typical day look like for you as an attorney there? And is
yeah,
it different now during the pandemic than before?
yeah. So Pretzel is an incredible service, and so that's like I said, that's how I got into the space. My full-time job is with Morrison Rothman, and but when I'm working on Pretzel, essentially what we're doing is we're making sure that streamers have a source to play music safely on stream, so that you don't have to worry about DMCA takedowns. So on a day-to-day basis, I'm working and reviewing contracts for Pretzel, and that's contracts between um, distributors, that's contracts with Twitch for the extensions, that's contracts with musicians and indie musicians, labels, etc., to make sure we can get more music on the platform. And it's a lot of work. And then also your day-to-day corporate compliance, making sure the business can stay open. A lot of things that you don't see a lot of, hiring contractors, working on overlays, updating terms of service. But the primary thrust of what we do at Pretzel is make sure that music is safe to stream, and particular music. Because if you go off, for example, if we were to start playing Lady Gaga right now and don't start singing, um, because we want to make sure that the stream is not taken down. If we start
Mm-hmm.
playing Lady Gaga, then we could receive a DMCA complaint.
Mm-hmm.
It could ban the channel, etc. And so Pretzel's a solution for that.
Awesome. Um, I first of all, I didn't know about what you do. I had no idea that you did that. So
Yeah,
I'm
so
learning so much.
I've got the Morrison Rothman persona where this I do everything, and then
Mm-hmm.
also one of the co-founders of Pretzel. So
You have like just 80 hats in the background that you just keep tossing on and off. So what is the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, or otherwise known as DMCA?
oh God,
Wow, it sounds like it's your favorite thing.
oh, it's well, frankly, it was really cool is that the U.S. Copyright Office literally like yesterday, the day before, within the last week, came out and said that that they need to update the DMCA.
Oh,
So
oh no.
yeah, I know it's time to update it. The DMCA stands for Digital Millennium Copyright Act. So basically, it's a law that Congress passed and signed back in 1998, I think. So it's kind of outdated. If you think about all the advances in technology
Mm-hmm.
and the changing digital landscape we have, it's been a long time since 1998. It's basically a compromise between the copyright holders, so somebody that's created a form of creative expression, and a service provider. So basically, copyright holders have a need to protect their work. For example, if you go and you paint a beautiful painting, you want to make sure that you're able to protect it. But if somebody goes and rips it off, say for example, they create an exact replica in Animal Crossing and they release that for everybody using Animal Crossing, giving you no credit, they get a ton of popularity. You want to protect that. And so it protects the service providers, such as Animal Crossing, from being held liable for somebody ripping off your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So think about it this way: if I am your lawyer, and if I am your lawyer, I had to pause there. The What I would do if somebody ripped off your painting and uploaded it to Animal Crossing, everybody downloaded it, put it on a beautiful shirt, and wore it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Your first instinct would be, well, who do I sue? Do I sue that person for ripping it off and distributing it? Or do I sue Animal Crossing and Nintendo for providing the platform under which they do it?
Right.
So the DMCA actually protects Animal Crossing and Nintendo as the service provider,
Right.
but also gives you a mechanism by which to protect your work. Because what you would do is you would send a takedown to Nintendo and say, "Hey, that's mine. Somebody ripped it off."
Right.
And then Nintendo would say, "Well, sounds good." And then they reach out to the other party and say, "You ripped this off, bud." And they say either, "Yeah, I totally did," and keep it down, or they'd say, "No, I didn't do that." And then at that point, Nintendo's done every single thing they need to do, and you have to either sue that person or let it go. So the DMCA provides a way to protect copyright, not just service providers, but also copyright holders.
Right. I'm just that entire scenario gives me so much anxiety.
Yeah, right? You didn't think that Animal Crossing could give you the willies.
How dare you, Tom Nook? I can't believe you ripped somebody off and stole their shirt design. What were you thinking?
I know, the same guy that gives you an interest-free loan for your house also would do that horrible thing to you. So,
What? Jeez Louise, Tom, I'm gonna have to talk to you after this. So what can folks in broadcasting and entertainment do to prevent a DMCA claim or takedown?
okay, so in general, you can use stuff that you have the right to use, which it sounds very simple, doesn't it? But it's actually extremely complicated. If you think about it, our entire profession is illegal. Not my profession,
Well,
yours.
no, you're gonna give me an anxiety. Hey, just to let you know, you're illegal in general. Your entire existence, your career path.
Everything you're doing, it's illegal. But no, in reality, think about it. We're broadcasting games, and we don't have a license to recreate those games and broadcast them out to the public. So you wouldn't. It's like those old FBI disclaimers at the beginning of movies, where it says
Right.
you wouldn't download a car. Well, you would if you could, especially if it was a 3D model for you to use in extra life, well, in the second life or something like that. Um, and so what you can do is make sure that you have the rights to use what you work with. Now, for example, that could mean reaching out to game developers and saying, "Hey, I'd love to play Warzone right now," or "Hey, I'd love to play Animal Crossing right now. Is that okay?" Um, Now, nobody does that. Like, effective. Some people do that. Mostly people don't do that because it would be extremely time consuming and not you probably wouldn't be able to get a response in all cases. So what a lot of streamers do, most streamers do, all streamers do, is they go out there and they just start streaming a game that they like. Now, if that game at a certain point that game can say you can't stream this and
Mm-hmm.
you have to remove that content, and that's
Mm-hmm.
a risk that you're going to run. Where you most likely hit a DMCA issue is you're playing music that you don't have the right to,
Mm-hmm.
um, such as using the Spotify player or something like that and
Mm-hmm.
running it through your stream. Or if you're, usually it's music, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Um, or if you're ripping off somebody's emotes or logos. So the easiest thing and what we worked at with Pretzel is there's this gaping hole of how do you deal with the proper rights to music, and so instead of using Spotify, using something like that, we work to with the music creators, the content creators themselves, to get licenses for broadcasters.
That's
A lot of
incredible.
info.
No, it
A
is a lot
lot
of
of
info,
info.
but also really important because I'm sure anybody that's ever streamed here has had a section of their VOD at least muted, if not removed. So,
Yeah. You want to know
um,
what happens? Well, if your VOD does not get muted in that case,
oh, you
you can
get
take it
sued?
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can take it down. Yeah, people will be like, yeah, oh my gosh, I can't believe it got muted, and people are like, what? Wait, don't, they're just helping you because if they don't mute it, then you could be sued. So, I mean, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome for that hard work. I was about to say, there's very few games that I've heard of actually them being like, you can't stream that. But I feel like a lot of it comes from Nintendo sometimes.
Well, so not just Nintendo they're fierce defenders of their rights, but they're
Mm-hmm.
probably not going to take down a lot of gaming content.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tetris is known for doing takedowns and stuff
Wow.
like that. Tetris is extremely litigious. Litigious meaning that they litigate a lot. They sue people. Now they don't necessarily go after broadcasters. A lot of the gaming industry has realized that Twitch and live creation is the way to go.
Right.
And so they allow the use. They don't offer a specific license. They allow the use. But for example, if you have a broadcaster that goes off and does something horrible, you'll
Mm-hmm.
see developers coming off and saying, "Oh no, we don't want to be affiliated with you. You can't play our game," and they'll revoke the license, submit a DMCA, and that's fine. So, for example, if you did something terrible, then they could come back and revoke your license, and all of a sudden your channel's nuked.
Incredible things to know. I never thought about the idea that they could be like, no, we don't want you to play our game. So actually, from now on, Elder Scrolls Online, you're not allowed to play it on stream
Yeah,
anymore. And and then Twitch is like, I don't want to deal with you actually, so we're just gonna ban you because this seems like a lot of work. It's been nice.
exactly.
Uh,
Goodbye.
so what is fair use and the difference between it and a sync license?
Yeah, so fair use is nothing. Fair use is a lie.
Oh, okay.
Um,
All right.
so
Hold on. Let me write that one down. Fair use is a lie.
fair use is an actual thing. I'll walk that back a second. But fair use is a defense. It's not a right.
Right.
So in order to say something is fair use, you first have to have been sued. You see a lot of people out there that are saying, "Oh, my content's fair use. It's transformative. It's educational. It's whatever."
Mm-hmm.
You can, for a full list of fair use factors, use Google. But I just pulled a full John Oliver with that. I apologize. So fair use being a defense means that you have to get sued in order to claim it. And
Right.
nobody wants to get sued because the minute you get sued, if you're sued over a copyright claim, you're automatically up front probably at least 25K in legal fees. Like you can guarantee you can write that check and burn it. Um, and so you want to avoid being sued, so you should never rely on fair use. Um, that said, I think your question was, what was your question again?
The difference between fair use and a sync license.
Yeah, so a sync license is what you actually need for to play music in timed relation with your channel.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going off Lady Gaga again, I don't know why she's on my brain. I think my wife's been playing a lot of Lady Gaga lately. Um, she's incredible. And so, if you're playing Lady Gaga and you're saying, "Well, it's transformative use. People aren't here to listen to Lady Gaga. They're here to watch me play Elder Scrolls." Um, that's a good argument. I don't know if it's going to be accepted in a court of law. But
Right.
now, if you have a synchronization license from Lady Gaga's label in order to play that music,
Hmm.
then you have a piece of paper, an agreement that says, I can do this. So a sync license is the right to synchronize music to images. It is the license you've got to have to use music in your live stream or video content. So anytime you put music in a video, you've got to have a sync license. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It can get much more complicated than that, but that's what it comes down to. So if you want to talk about, if you want to play that music, you've got to have a sync license. If you want to lose your entire career, don't get a sync license and rely on fair use.
My only question here is not that it's not definitely not my only question because I probably have a trillion, but when they put like pop songs or like more popular songs inside video games and then you're playing that video game, how that works out, because I think that the only time I've had an actual problem with getting something taken down where I was like, oh, I don't understand, is when a song was put inside a video game and then it got muted and I was like, oh god, I don't know where I stand here.
So the artist grants the label, let's just call
Mhm.
them the artist, the musician grants the right to the video game
Mhm.
to include um that that song in the game,
Mhm.
but they don't give the developer the right to grant you that license. They don't
Right.
give it, you don't get the sub license.
Right.
And so um, you'll see in a lot of terms of service for games, the developers will say, if you get sued for streaming this or something, we're not on the hook.
Right.
So now, because it's in the game, you need to find a way to toggle off the sounds, which a lot of games are using now. But some of these older games, they don't have that toggle, and so
Mhm.
you run the risk of getting taken down. Now, to be fair, there's a lot of people out there. You'll say, "Well, Noah, I see like all these broadcasters that are, streaming everything,
Mhm.
all sorts of music that they clearly don't have the rights to." Well, they're running the risk.
Right. Yeah, and they're just like I think a lot of people are just complacent with getting it muted and not worrying about it, or they don't care about keeping the VODs. But I feel
There's
like even
actually,
then, if you heard, if somebody were to walk in on your live stream and hear it, I feel like you could still run the risk. That's so dangerous.
yeah, exactly, and if so, there's actually a company, and I don't want to get too into the weeds on this one, but there's a company out there, and I'll tell you offline who it is, that is owned by Universal Music Group and Warner.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Partially, they both invested in this company. This company's entire job for the last 2 years has been to monitor Twitch streams and collect data on who's using music that they don't have the rights to. And so, if they want to follow up on that, they totally can.
Good to know and
I only
terrifying to
found out
know.
about that 2 months ago.
They're like, yeah, no, no, we've just been watching you. No big deal.
No big deal.
Do broadcasters need a sync license for the music they play on stream? And how? Okay, I think you answered that, but how would they go about getting that license?
The easiest, so the simple answer is you go to whoever owns the right to grant you that license.
Right.
Practically, that is nothing. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
tell you any information effectively. So typically, that's held by multiple people. For
Right.
example, there are a couple Drake tracks that have more than 50 rights holders,
Mm-hmm.
and so you need to get that license from 50 separate people,
Right.
which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now, and that can be different depending on the contracts in between the rights holders, but generally that's a lot of clearance to do.
Right.
Um, and so a lot of musicians don't actually have the right to grant you that license. So if you were to DM Lady Gaga and say, "Hey, Lady Gaga, big fan, um, can I use your music?" and she comes back and says, "Yeah, sure, whatever," that's not enough. You actually need to go to her label to or whoever owns that content. Um, Little plug, Pretzel's
I was
actually
about to
working.
say, is this where Pretzel Rock comes in?
This is where Pretzel Rocks comes in. Um, so Pretzel's actually gone out to a bunch of indies and starting to get even more mainstream labels to get the rights to stream the music. And so those companies grant Pretzel the right to use and to sub license um, the proper rights that you need, the sync licenses. And so if you use Pretzel's software, if you play the music from Pretzel, that's going to be safe to stream. That's going to be safe to use in your YouTube video, assuming you click the Save for YouTube button, etc. And so that Pretzel's gotten the right to grant you that sub license.
Very good to know for no reason in particular. So where could folks find music that is not at risk for DMCA claims or prepare themselves to ensure their content is within all legal means?
So, you have a lot of different labels that are kind of in the gaming space. Monster Cat is a famous one. You've got Monster Cat, you've got 99 Lives, you've got No Copyright Sound. Those are wonderful entities that allow some of their music to be used, some or all of their music to be used on stream. And I'll say that again, that's Monster Cat, 99 Lives, and No Copyright Sound. But if you want to find a place that is kind of an aggregator for all of them, again, Pretzel. Pretzel's got contracts with all of those but Monster Cat. And so that is where you go to kind of find that stuff. Now, if you're just searching the internet for royalty free, copyright free music, you're going to find some stuff, but I would not trust it because I've run into the issue for several clients where they said, "Oh, well, this was on a site that said copyright free," um, but turns out the person who uploaded it didn't actually have the right to upload it. That kind of thing.
I have actually, I think my mom literally dealt with something like that. She was like, I was on a website, it said copyright free, and I was like, do you even know those people? What did the website look like?
What did it look like?
So if folks want to learn more about DMCA and preparing themselves legally, where should they go?
Google. No, I'm kidding. My first my first bit of advice is to always talk to a lawyer. If whenever you're preparing yourself legally, whether you're creating an LLC or reviewing a contract, whatnot, talk to a lawyer. I'm a lawyer. There's a lot of lawyers in the industry that do different things. You want to make sure you find someone who can actually help you for your specific thing. Um, and I would say that most of them, any lawyer that's worth their salt will give you a free consult. Now, they're not going to give you advice on the consult, but they'll tell you, here's the issues you're facing, here's what it would cost, give you an idea of what you're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are afraid to pay lawyers because they're kind of afraid for, oh God, I'm going to be charged thousands of dollars for something when in fact it's really not the case. Lawyers are very reasonable. Now, if you're going to learn more about the DMCA in general, I've published a few articles about it. You can find them on my Twitter. There's one literally called "Let's Take a Minute to Talk About the DMCA," which is really fun. It's a good read, and I wrote it in 2017. It's my most popular thing I've ever done, except get married. Um, so
Is that popular
that
with the internet or with your wife?
a little bit of column A, a little column B.
Okay.
Mostly with the wife, and that's the one I really care about. Sorry, internet. So that's where you go to find that stuff. But in general, I'd say talk to a lawyer. I am a lawyer. I can talk to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
That's myself.
Just quick question. Are you a lawyer?
I'm a lawyer.
Good to know. Thank you so much. Do you have any other essential tips or info for broadcasters and others in gaming or preparing and protecting themselves legally?
Yeah, no. So broadcasters, holy crud, you need an entity of some sort to protect yourselves. As I said, everything we do in this profession is illegal. And so what you need is some sort of shield between you and the law that wants to sue you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I work with broadcasters every day to make sure that they're protected by setting up LLCs, corporations, whatever fits their particular needs. I'd say that LLCs, contract reviews, my nightmare, which is one I've lived. It's a living nightmare. I've lived this nightmare is to receive a text from a client saying, "Hey, I sent you a contract. Can you take a look at it?" And I look at it and I'm like, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. You signed away your likeness for eternity, in perpetuity," which means that this person that you signed this contract with can use your face, voice, your content forever. And they said, "Well, I already signed it. What can I do about that?" I say, "Nothing." Well, not nothing. but very little, and it's going to cost a lot more to fix it than it would have, if you just called me ahead of time. So talk to a lawyer. So review your contracts, set up some sort of entity, protect yourself, because whether you like it or not, as a broadcaster, you're a business owner. And we've got a lot of broadcasters who love playing games, and that's why they do this. They love playing games for an audience, and they start making money on it. And all of a sudden, they're finding out, holy crap, I own a business now. I have to pay taxes. Um, and that's something that we help people work through.
The like hidden moment where people are like, I have to pay taxes on this money, and every time I hear it, I'm like, oh god, oh no, oh no, oh god.
Oh jeez. And then they're like, wait, I didn't make all that money from Twitch. And they're like, actually, well, so yeah, Twitch pay out to your PayPal, and then PayPal also reported money. So you had a double report to the IRS. It's a whole thing.
It's the most fun you'll ever have as a streamer, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This has been so informational. I have written down so many incredible notes. My favorite so far is fair use is a lie, so I'm just gonna star that one for later.
I want to make it into a shirt.
So much for talking to me. Also, wait, I'm right. You did my paperwork for confectionery, right?
I did.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, I'm pretty sure it was Noah.
I represent you, but I'm not allowed to say that you are.
You do? Well, technically, you represent my entire team, technically.
Darn tootin'.
Darn tootin'. Thank you so much for talking to us today. I really appreciate it. I hope you have an incredible rest of your evening.
Thank you. You too. And then thank you, everybody in chat. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
My gosh. Do you ever just hear Noah saying everything you do is illegal, and like your heart just sinks to the ground a little bit and you're scared? Me either. I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Oh, geez, Louise. It's fine. I'll just take a bath after this and just think about it for a few hours. Yes. Good to know. I'm glad I'm not alone. It's all okay. I'm glad you think so. I'll be just DMing you for representation later. So next we're going to be talking to Libby, who, oh my gosh, an aspiring roboticist? Wait, hold on. I have so many questions. But also, Libby is a 2020 BroadcastHER Academy recipient and Twitch streamer. So I'm super, super, super excited to talk to them. So let me call them in so we can talk to them as well. Everything is illegal and nothing is real. Hi! Sorry, Libby, that's the first thing you heard. I cannot hear you. Oh, well, I can now.
To the, welcome to the show. Everything is illegal and nothing is real, apparently. So, hi.
I actually am just changing the stream title as we speak.
Perfect. Sounds amazing.
It's so nice to meet you. How's your day going? How you doing?
Going pretty well. How about yourself?
It's just a tiny existential crisis, but otherwise I'm fine.
A little bit. That's fine. You're good. Don't we all? What is it? Wednesday? That's what Wednesdays are for.
It's about time. So, yeah, it's about time for an existential crisis. I just checked my watch. So
perfect.
It's nice to meet you. Congratulations, by the way, for being a recipient of the BroadcastHER Academy grant, or not grant, but a BroadcastHER Academy recipient. Can you tell us a little bit more about you, what you're currently doing in gaming, what your dream in esports and gaming is?
Sure. So hi everyone, my name is Libby. On Twitch I go by Askesienne. I've been waving in the chat and I've loved the previous segment. I am a bunch of things. I wear a ton of hats online. I stream myself, but I'm also a community manager at Congregate for both mobile and web titles. I'm an on-screen host for First Robotics, which is a K-12 educational organization that creates robotics programs to inspire young people into science technology careers. I manage Team Kitty, which is a stream team aimed at empowering women on Twitch and in gaming in general. And I guess to touch on the dream in esports and gaming, in the middle of making it real, I'm sort of in the midst of becoming the co-founder of a media and marketing consulting agency, bringing non-gaming brands into the gaming space. So, and also sometimes I take a nap.
I was about to say, I'm so tired just listening. Like I'm pulling out a pillow. Can you please rest your head? I'm worried about you.
I got my pillows behind me. That's, you get your cat naps in between stuff. It's all good.
I feel that. I'm on my third cup of coffee today, and I was like, when will it end?
Ugh.
Um,
Oh goodness, same.
It's like one of those things where I feel like in this industry, you're like, I can do that. And then like on the day where everything is happening, you're like, I can do it. It's going to be
You're like,
fine.
I can do. That was. How did you know what my day was like today? That's 100% a thing, right? You get in this trap of like, I need to say yes to all the things, and then all of a sudden you start listing all the things. You're like, oh my god,
I
what
just
am
get
gonna
so
do today?
excited. I'm like, all of that sounds incredible. Of course I would like to do it. And then realistically,
Exactly.
I sit down and I'm like, oh, wow, that's a lot.
So do I have time for anything else?
Napping? Should I do the dishes? So besides not having any free time, what inspired you to pursue a career in gaming?
Yeah, so a really quick version of my background. I grew up doing competition robotics and gaming course. I've always been a nerd. So I went to school for engineering and communications, and my master's is actually in marketing for technology. When I was in graduate school, I found and fell in love with Twitch as a complement to gaming. So I started streaming, actually starting as a charity stream, because my thought process legitimately was, I'm already wasting all this time like raiding in World of Warcraft, so I might as well try this Twitch thing. And if it makes like $5 for a good cause, then like, all right, cool.
Yes.
And I actually fell in love with, I was already interested in social media. I was specializing in social media marketing, but I fell in love with online communities, specifically in gaming and live spaces. So I sort of made a couple of side steps. I was working mostly at sort of engineering and technology and a little bit in pharma. And so while I was going through my graduate degree, so I started to just sort of like freelance and video edit and sort of like take these little baby side steps into gaming. And over time, I just sort of like bumbled my way into being in the gaming industry instead of sitting with tech. And not that I don't still interface with the tech industry, but I sort of had one path and another, and I mushed them together, and that's how I got here.
I love that. I love the mushing. Mushing is where I started mushing entertainment and gaming, and I was like, this is perfect.
Exactly.
You just gotta mush your favorite
trip and
things.
fall into the thing you're meant to do. So
Exactly.
it worked out pretty well.
It sounds like it. So as a streamer, what do you typically broadcast besides World of Warcraft raids I'm hearing now? And how would you... I just started playing WoW, so I'm super excited about that, by the way.
Oh, man. I haven't played in a little bit just because life's been busy and it's a game you need to be online all the time for. But yes. Oh, my God. Well, I will give you tips anytime. No problem.
Thank you. Thank you very much. How would you
I got
describe your stream to a new viewer?
Yeah, so I'd say I fall into like the traditional like eye roll streamer rabbit hole of variety, and that I play a lot of games and I like to play what I'm excited about at that particular time. But I like to sort of focus on things that let me explore creativity. So a lot of building, right? Sims, City Skylines, Planet Zoo, Planet Coaster, and RPGs. I've been on like a Fallout 4 kick. I started playing 76 because it was the new one, and then I was like, man, I don't want to play Fallout 4 again. So anything where it's sort of like you can tell a story, be creative. The way that I describe my community specifically is just, it's a place where we can smile and laugh together, usually at me, but most importantly with each other. We're a positive and inclusive space, and hopefully someplace that someone can call comfortable. It's like, you're done with your work at the end of the day. You just want to chill, just want to vibe out with your buddies. And that's what we try to cultivate.
Wow, it sounds so cozy already. I'm like, I'm wrapped in a warm blanket of content creation. Yeah,
Extra cozy.
Yes, I feel that. So do you think that you face any challenges as a woman in gaming, esports, and broadcasting?
Absolutely. And that is not to say that I have it the worst. There are many people and many communities in gaming that have it worse than me. But I actually have a great story that is quite literally from today at work that I think illustrates this very well. Like, I don't have to go very far back in the archives. I got to go like 2 hours ago. So like I said, I'm a community manager at Congregate, so I work on mobile and web titles, a lot of browser games. And the interesting thing about one of the games that I community manage for is it's a younger audience. And so sometimes they're not as keyed into what's acceptable in gaming communities. And it's kind of fun to be able to sort of guide that and say, hey, this is not all right. This is how you need to behave in gaming. It's exhausting, but I enjoy it. But as an example, today someone made a campaign on our Discord that my account was fake, and that my account is only represented as a girl, like my avatar, for sympathy, so that when the game devs make a bad decision, people will feel bad and be nicer to me because I'm a girl.
Did they capitalize
real
sympathy or
yeah, like we are real and we exist. I think there's this, it stems out of the idea that like girls don't exist in this space. And I think in general, I've noticed
Mhm.
this in competition robotics as well. Women tend to be put down, and the assumption is that we only got where we are because we're a girl, right?
Mhm.
I'm sure, as a female streamer yourself, you have heard like you wouldn't have as many viewers if you were a dude, right? Like who has not heard that at some point in
I feel
their
like we should
lifetime?
all
And
get
it's
like a little tattoo together, like
just
in
like like a
commemorative.
badge, like a patch for a jacket.
Yeah, we
Um,
should. Sick patches. At least then we could wear
I'm
it with
in.
honor.
Perfect. But like it truly, it's I wish I had better advice or like better sort of mindset than keep going, but it's like
Mhm.
people are going to suck and we just got to keep moving through it. It's one of those things that I think it bothered me when I was a robot builder and a robot driver and a competitor. I actually coach a high school team. So I'm no longer a competitor, but I help competitors. Um but it's bothered me in gaming too. It's like, oh well, you couldn't possibly be here unless you just wanted to be here for attention because you're a girl. And it's like, just let me play my games.
Why
Like,
would I spend
it's
so
just
many years in robotics just to do this for fun? I don't
yeah,
understand. I
that's
clearly
just for
don't care.
attention. I don't. That's all it is. Sorry.
Just like a whole
It's
few degrees and just no big deal. It's fine.
exactly. Yeah.
It's I feel the frustration on a deep emotional level. Especially I feel like when you put so much time and effort and you're like clearly doing this because you love it and you're coaching and you're doing I just can only imagine how frustrating it is
Yeah.
to not be seen as caring about something that you care so deeply about.
Exactly. And I think that's so analogous to gaming too. And that's why I think that I sort of am in like two very mirrored communities through
Mhm.
most of my day, which is odd, but I guess that's what I like.
You love a challenge, it sounds like.
Of
So,
course.
we know you're aiming to combat the discrimination women face in gaming as a team manager for Team Kitty. Could you tell us a little bit more about Team Kitty and your role there?
Absolutely. So, Team Kitty is a Twitch stream team founded in 2014 by the broadcaster Kitty Plays. We're a team of over 70 awesome people, primarily women, not exclusively women, but primarily. Our mission is obviously to uplift and empower women in the gaming space. So, the sort of rule of thumb around that is anyone can apply, but you got to be down with like that is our purpose. We connect broadcasters with each other for collaborations and sponsorship opportunities, as well as just sort of general friendship and camaraderie. The focus is really doing good for the world and, like I said, uplifting women in the gaming space. We really do two things. One, our Discord's a giant slumber party, and we all hang out and like play games and have, am I allowed to drink mimosas and play video games together and share
You're
Animal
allowed to say
Crossing
drink
island
mimosas, you're
recipes? And
fine.
like, I'm trying to be PG, we fine. But then on the other hand, the other component of what we're trying to do with the team is there are so many broadcasters who have the talent, who have the tech, who have the personality, who have everything right as a streamer, and maybe it's not quite clicking for them, right? For some reason, they're not able to quit that other job they have that they wish they could quit because they want to be able to stream all the time. And so the sort of business side of Team Kitty is being able to bring opportunities to casters that allow them to let that go, right? You wouldn't be working that part-time job at the coffee shop if you didn't have to, because you could be bringing this in from streaming. And so not only are we just there to sort of have fun and grow our space and make each other feel welcome and comfortable, but also if we can use the group of the team as a way to say, hey, sponsor XYZ, here are amazing casters with high quality production and just awesome stuff in their cast that you're going to want to support that you might not see because you haven't seen this whole community yet. I think I could go on a whole tangent about how women are typically overlooked in a lot of activations, but I won't. That is essentially what we do as a group. It's just a way of sort of elevating people who are awesome and create good content and being able to create something good for each other. So that's what we're about.
I love that. So you're a recipient of the BroadcastHER Academy. What do you plan on using your funds for?
Yeah, so personally, in my case, funding is going towards equipment and business backend costs for furthering two things. Team Kitty's work, as well as this agency I mentioned, that are, again, specifically aimed at sort of bolstering women in the space. We've done a lot of work sort of as these pseudo volunteers, where it's just people who care a lot about the work that we're doing. Across the team, myself, our community council, as well as other folks who have worked on this agency side. And it's that funding is so important to be able to put those roots down and create the foundation to actually support the people who are investing all of their energy into these things. So it's sort of a business structural grant, if that makes sense.
It does make sense, and it's incredible. So the Broadcaster Academy includes some special pricing for you, including HyperX products, a trip to the HyperX esports arena in Las Vegas, and more. How do you think these resources will help you on your journey, and what are you most excited for?
Well, one, I have never been to Vegas, so that's like, just fun.
Yes.
But my pricing actually just got here today. I'm really excited to open the headset and the microphone, and actually do a little bit of upgrading to my work setup. This is the stream setup, but I've also sort of got my, business zone. I'm so grateful to HyperX for providing that. That's super cool. As far as the trip, whenever it can happen, I'm just really excited to dive in person, both with the other recipients and our HyperX industry mentors. I think that so much of the value of that FaceTime with people is, I mean, any convention, any event that you've been to, like you can have an email chain with someone, you could have a Discord call or a Google Meet or whatever, but to be in person and sort of like feed off that energy together and work towards projects and whatever goals you have on the table, I think is going to be absolutely super valuable. I also just really want to see the arena. It's going to be fun. And I cannot wait until it's safe for us to do that, because I think that's going to be, there's nothing like the energy when you're working on a project with someone in the same room, right? It's a big sad talking about that right now. Like, when you get down to it, there's like such a different vibe about being able to work towards these really important projects and just being able to bounce off of each other. And I think it's going to be great to meet everyone for real.
Yes, 1,000%. I miss it. I just want to be around a bunch of incredible people all over again. I miss it. So we heard that you just completed your virtual mentorship with 2 women from HyperX. How was your session, and what do you think is the biggest thing you'll take away from that experience?
Well, first of all, I love that Kayla's in the chat, because Kayla was my reminder on both of my sessions. They were so energetic and enthusiastic and passionate that I got this reminder like, hey, your next meeting is starting. You need to end your session. Both of the mentors that I have from HyperX were absolutely amazing. They were inspiring and reassuring. We talked a lot about not only what I've been doing so far, but some of the work that I've got on the table and what I'm trying to build. And gave me a ton of advice on bringing value to clients, involvements with new brands, and just sort of like general industry advice, as well as specific experiences to their time at HyperX that I found really insightful. And like I said, there was so much just good energy that both of those meetings ran over time. And I'm so grateful for their time. And I'd sign off. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I want to keep talking. This is amazing. They actually both wrote me and said, let's talk more, which feels so cool, right? You think from a set program, it's like, okay, well, you've got your time, click, click, move on. But it genuinely, both of the amazing, inspiring women I talked to were like, yeah, I want to keep doing this. Let's go. And I think that's why I'm so excited for that trip whenever it happens too, is like, yeah, let's do the thing.
Yes.
Just so much positive, awesome energy in that space. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
Oh my gosh. I just want to be a fly on the wall in these conversations. They sound incredible.
Yeah, come on by. It'll be fun.
Be like, could you CC me into that meeting? I just want to sit there.
Yeah, no problem.
So why do you think programs like the BroadcastHER Academy are so important and beneficial for women in games right now? Is there anything else we can do to increase the representation and experience for women?
So I think the BroadcastHER Academy specifically can be absolutely game changing for folks. And it's part of why I applied. Whether it's someone who's looking to make new moves in industry, like me, I'm sort of sidestepping and adding things to what I do. But especially for someone who's younger or in school, they're looking to get started, it can be so intimidating to start. Whether it is someone's dream is to host or to own a team or to stream or to, own whatever business it is in this space. It's so scary, right? Where do I start? But it's so nice to see an organization like the Thousand Dreams Fund be able to be that guiding light of like, yes, you can do it. Here is some help. Here is some funding. Here's some stuff. I think it can be that bridge. And even as for someone who's not a recipient, to be able to, and I obviously I'd known about the grant and the academy well before I applied, to see that program existing for another woman is also inspiring to me, because I see that my dreams do have backing, right? So whether obviously being a recipient is a huge deal for that one person, but there's also sort of a general cultural shift that says, hey, this is something that people support and people, want to be behind. As far as representation in general, I think I have 2 pieces of generic advice or experience that I'll fall back on. And one of them is big. I think speaking out about issues of representation is important for everybody to do, not just the group themselves. A bunch of women talking about women in gaming and the challenges we face is important, is valid, is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are not in that group, and this is for any group, this is out of the context of just women in gaming, but if any issue of a group being marginalized or underrepresented in gaming, those allies are important. So it can be something as big as showing up on the Thousand Dreams Fund show when you are not a woman in gaming and you're supporting that initiative, or something as small as you're in a group chat in a game and someone's being toxic to the girl. Don't just mute yourself and ignore it. Stand up. Talking about those issues is important and valid for every member of the gaming community. It is not that all of a sudden, some random person who is not in that group is now the expert on that group, because of course you always want people to be able to speak from their own experiences and amplify those experiences, those backgrounds. But it's not that it is also that those people should be in the conversation. Allies are very important. And the other sort of piece of story or advice I have from both robotics and gaming is, and I say this is in robotics for me, it's important because I'm an engineering mentor, and that's not necessarily true of all women mentors. They're I handle business, I handle finance, which is also valid and awesome and amazing. But in tech specifically, and I think it falls into gaming as well, I go by the logic of if you can see it, you can be it. So the more we amplify creators who are getting it right, who are being inclusive and welcoming and positive and just the good stuff, we allow that light to keep shining, and you end up creating this infinite feedback loop where, okay, we're amplifying these positive, inclusive female creators. I'll pick on Luxie, for example. And then in Luxie's chat is this young woman who's watching your stream and says, it is okay to be a woman in gaming. It's okay to be who I am. It's awesome to be who I am, and I can enjoy that thing. And it's not big or scary to share that love of gaming or robotics or technology or whatever it is with somebody else, because you see another example out in the world of someone being good at what they do and inspired and passionate and also being celebrated for it. You get what you celebrate out of life, and the more we amplify the good, the more we will sort of dim out the bad and keep the good stuff going. And also just let people enjoy things. Like just let people enjoy what they like. It's not that hard.
Oh, it hurts me.
Right? Like
you get what you celebrate out of life. It's such a good. Oh, I have to leave actually and tattoo that on my body. I can't even finish this.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Thank you. I'm honored. I'm flattered.
Yeah, I'll just have you sign underneath it. So
perfect. Gotcha.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. Do you have any final tips or others in your field or that are looking to begin their career in streaming and gaming?
Ooh. See, I feel like I could go down two rabbit holes, right? There's like the technology in the background, but I think for the sake of this evening, my advice is just going to be go for it. Do your research, look into the stuff that you want to do, see what's succeeding in the space, but by whatever it is you want to do, just do it. It's sort of a bigger version of when people ask my advice on streaming and they're like, oh, what do I do? It's like, do a little bit of research, make sure your tech's right, and then just hit the go live button. Like, don't worry about the other stuff. No matter what it is that you're excited about, whether it's gaming or streaming or robotics or something completely unrelated, it could be needle pointing, it could be anything. Someone out in the world is going to want to yuck your yum. And it seems so easy to be like, just ignore it. Like, that stuff hurts. It sucks. We can acknowledge that and respect that. But we can also take what I call negativity, right? Like, as feedback, it can fuel you can use it to improve, but you can't let it stop you. Right. So if every time someone was like, I don't want to play with girls, like, okay, fine, then don't. I'll go play with somebody else. Right. That's okay. That's fine. You're clearly not fit for my space and I'm not fit for yours. And that's great. We can go enjoy things in our own spaces. But when it comes to being interested in gaming or streaming or a job in the industry, start with volunteer work, right? Step up to edit for a streamer that you admire if you want to get into video editing. They may not say yes because they may already have an editor, but try. Be involved in communities. Just go for it. And be your authentic self. Dive in on what makes you excited and what like lights you up. And just do the thing. I'm always happy online, whether it's Twitter, Discord, here on Twitch, to be a sounding board for people, but just do the thing. That's my advice. Try it. Get some research, some advice from people in the space you want to be in, and take that step.
Do the thing. Do the thing. You can do the thing. We
Do the
believe
thing.
in you. We both believe in you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
So
Thank
proud of you and
you.
all your hard work, and I hope that you get to take a nap soon.
Probably right after this, actually. So
Perfect.
night, y'all.
Thank you so much for everything. Have an incredible evening.
You as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my God. You can't just keep throwing all these incredible people at me and just expect me to be functioning after this. I just have to go lay in the bath and think about everything. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, you all, for talking with me today. Thank you to Noah and to Libby for their insane amount of expertise in 2 different things. I'm literally just trying to list everything that Libby is doing right now, and Noah. Hats off to both of them because they're wearing so many. So sorry, that was the worst joke. This is a reminder that the Spring BroadcastHER grant is now extended through June 19th due to COVID-19. So please go out and apply. You have that extra time. Have an amazing evening. Thank you for a wonderful show. I will see y'all in a month. Until then, stay safe. Bye.